I think I will just very briefly show how to solve the third exercise, and then we will split into teams and work on the other exercises. So first we said create a repository on GitHub. Clone the repository using the SSH address. And let's do that. So we are on GitHub. And we will create a new repository like this. It looks this way. I'm now calling it Git test. And I don't need to do anything else here. I will just create the repository. So an empty repository. And I can, I guess, pick one of these if I want to. Or I can just say I want to do the quick setup. But sure, we can try and do this here. So let's copy this text here. And then I will get the SSH here. I will just go to Git test. And then I will say I'm doing this here. I am creating a new file, so there's something in it. This is a new file. I will name it my file. And then I'm committing the changes. And I could write something here in the commit message. I'm just keeping what they are suggesting. So now I got this here. Now I have a file in it. And that means the repository exists. And I can go and I could add a README that just tells people what's in the repository. It's a good idea to put one there. So sure, let's do that. This is a test repository for the Git intro course. So now I have something. And you can see what you put into the README text. It goes here as a description of this repository. So you have probably, when you go around on GitHub, seen long texts here where they tell you how you download and install their project, for instance, and that is stuff you could put into the README, for instance. So that is why you have this, and that's very good. But let's click Git test, and then we are going to clone it. And I will go in here by clicking code. I make sure it's now on SSH because now I am going to copy it so that I can make changes to it. Copy URL to clipboard. I am saying git cloned, and then this I just copied. I'm getting git test. I'm going into git test. And as you can see, it has the two files I just created. And I did that here. I'm entering the local repository. I can try and make something here so that I need to fetch it. I will create a new file. Extra file. Not very inventive, sorry. This is just another file. And then I commit changes. Like this. And I am now going to work on my repository. So I am doing a git pull before I start working. And I am getting stuff here, as you can see. And it shows that now I also have this extra file here. Let me try and do the same thing on the command line. So if I'm using nano, I'm going to create a file. I'm just calling it local file first. I also create a file here from my local repo. And then I'm saving it. I'm doing git add, or I could have said git add the local file because I only had one. This adds everything new in this directory and every directory under it. So it might be dangerous, but now I did this. Then I'm doing git commit, and I'm going to add a commit message on this line here because it's easier or faster than going into the editor. Adding my new local file text. And as you can see, it does that, creating the commit, and then we are pushing it. So let's see what happened here. I'm going to reload, and indeed it has local file.txt. I did this, yes. I just want to show you how you can change the name of this repository here. Let's see, it's settings, and the settings that is up here is for this repository. So I go into settings, and as you can see here, I could add collaborators, for instance, and since that is a dangerous thing, I have to authenticate. I am doing it with Git Mobile, but it could also simply ask for a code from your authenticator. And if you haven't set this up, I'm sure it will bug you into setting it up. So I have to authenticate here. I've done that, like that. And now I could add collaborators. I could say add people, and then I would write something here trying to figure out what people I want to add. I'm not going to add to this random person, but in any case, this is how you do when you know in a moment are going to add each other as team members to your project or your repository. Anyway, what we were going to do here, we are going to go into, let's see where it is. There should be a place for, it's probably general. Yes, here it is. The default branch. Here you are renaming it, and if you wanted it to be called master instead, then you simply write master. Why did it do that? Sorry. I'm renaming the branch, and I am calling it master, and then it's called master. And if you want it to be main, then you can rename it for that. So you go here, you rename the default branch, and that is useful in case you have something local that where it's called master and you want to work with that. But in this case, I created it on GitHub. That means that when you fetch it locally, it will be called the same thing as it was on GitHub, so it's safe. Okay. Now I'm going to record the answers to the exercises for the Teamworks section. I'm not going to record this exercise about setting up a GitHub and setting up SSH keys because I'm going to assume that you have already done this before since we used it yesterday. And then we come to the third exercise, which clone, push, and pull. I went through that together with the lecture. So I'm going to start from the first of the teamwork exercises here. And here, one of you should create a repository, and I'm going to be in a team with my test user on GitHub that I have created and that I'm going to use here. So I am going to have a repository on GitHub, and I created one earlier. Let's see there, Git test, and I'm going to use that. And the first part of it, sorry, is I should create a repository, and I guess I can just show you how we do that. If you need to create a new one in your, when you are just logged in, you click plus here to create a new repository. So I'm doing that, and I can create a new Git test. And I now have that. I can say I just want to add a README, and then I could have a description if I want to, but right now I'm just going to create it. I could add licenses if I need that, but I don't really, because this is just a test repository, but if it's your project, you probably want that. So the README file, here you put information about your project. And since this is just a test, I'm saying this is my test Git repo for the Git course. And then I commit the changes. And this will work nicely. Okay, and as you see here, what you put into README is going to be shown here for people. And you have probably seen when you go to a Git repository for some software or something, that they have a description here about how they can download, you can download things and how you can install it and use it, and where to get help and various things. So you can put links to documentation and other things here if it's your project. Anyway, this is now my very small project I have created. It's called new Git test. And then I'm told here the exercise, add and commit a file. I'm going to do that. So I'm clicking plus and I'm clicking create a new file. I could also upload a file, or you could create it from the command line, but we saw that already. So we're going to do this in GitHub. This is a test file, and this is my test file. And I'm going to commit the changes. And this message works, or I can put something different there if I want to. Now I have a file added and committed to my new repository. On the command line, I should do a git status, but I should first actually pull this repository. I did that earlier here, but idea here is of course, that we are working together. So I'm first going to invite my team member, and this is my team member, which is called Maria E. Test for my middle names, and test. So I'm going to go here and look at these here. These are the settings and such for this repository. So I'm clicking settings. I'm going to go to collaborators. And usually it will also ask for authentication when you are going to go into doing something with collaborators. And then you will have to authenticate with two-factor authentication. I already did this earlier today because I showed you during the lecture. So now I'm going to add people. And I'm going to do that by either I have the username, and I do now, or I'm going to search for people. So I'm going to start typing this username here, and one person shows up, which is the correct one. And I'm going to add this test user. And this person will then get an invite. Let's see if they got an invite. There should be some invites here somewhere. There. Otherwise, it will come to your email. But here I got an invitation to join new Git test. And I am going to look at that. And I'm going to accept the invitation. And now I'm a member of this repository. And I will reload here. And now I have a collaborator here. And I could, if I wanted to, make changes if I want the person to have different permissions and things like this. But I'm just going to stick to collaborator here. That works fine. Okay. So now I have added a collaborator. And now this person here can create a file. And I think actually I should set up. I have logged in here twice, one on this machine here and one on a different machine, Pelle, so I can work as two people. I'm going to first clone it, git clone, and this repository here. And now you copy the SSH one since you are a member. And I guess I should also create a file as my other user. So I'm going to do that. Also file. No, this is my new file. Okay, good. So now there are two files in it. And if I check over here, it is also there. You can see here, I'm going into the new Git test that I just cloned. There is no extra file here because I first need to pull it because it was created after I cloned it. But now I get the also file here, as you can see. So I can go git status. And I'm up to date with origin main. I will do git log graph one line decorate all. And that shows the commits and also if there were branches and things. And you should always remember to do git pull when you start working on your project if your collaborators have made changes. So it's always safest to do a git pull to begin with. And here you see the ones that exist. And you also see that you are pointing to the tip of the main branch and that origin head, origin main, it's all updated. So now I could try to push a new change before pulling a change. And so I have now quickly set up my test user, given them SSH keys and did the configuration. So now I can actually create some files here and work with it. Let's go here and to this repository. And I will then try and create some files from the command line from my test user. So my test user will now also clone this repository. And go into it. And it contains what it should. And now I'm going to try and make some changes to it. I'm going to make a file. So now I created a file here. It's here. And I'm going to add a new file. And I'm going to commit it. This. But I'm not going to push it yet. Or maybe I will, but just not. Yes, I'm going to push it. Let's push it. And then my other user here is working in their directory, and they decide to also create a file, but without making changes, without pulling the changes first. So my user will make a file here. Hello, hello, hello. And there is now a file here that I'm adding and committing. And now I'm going to try and push, and Git gets angry. And the reason Git gets angry is, of course, because there's already some new material on the repository which I don't have. But this is a simple problem. The two files are different. They have different names. So in this case, I can just do a git pull minus rebase, and that should solve my problem. And then I can continue the push, and all is well. And I could then just create some more files, add them, and commit them. And I'm not going to do that here. It doesn't change so much, but you can just see here that the files get added. And if I created one more file, touch file, and it's here, and I say git status, then it tells me it's not tracked. And because of that, it's not here. If I am then going to add it, I'm just going to add everything in this directory and below. And I'm committing it. And then pushing it. Then over here in my other user, I'm going to say git status. And I am told all is well because it's just checking what is going on here locally. It's fine. I'm going to do git log here, this command here, and it looks well. And let's see. I'm up to date. So let's see how it looks over here in new git test. There it has all the files, including the file. I don't have the file here because I have not fetched it yet. I also don't have hello.txt yet. So let's try and continue to the 5th exercise and see what goes on when I'm creating some branches and merge them. I will try and create a branch in the repo, and I'm going to do it for this user here. Git branch my stuff. And let's say git status. It's fine. I am on branch my main. So with git branch all, I can see the branches that exist. And I'm going to go to my new branch, my stuff. And right now there's nothing new happening on it. I'm going to just go ahead and add something for it. That. And it contains some random lines here. Just let us adjust numbers here. So this is just a random data file. Doesn't have anything useful in it. Just a file. I'm now going to see what happens here. I have added a number of files here, but as you can see, I've not yet added this one. There's no commit message here. So all is fine. I'm going to go git status. It's telling me that this file of mine is not yet tracked. I'm going to add it. Let's see how it looks over here. It's fine. And I'm going to commit it. I'm not writing good commit messages. I am going to go ahead and add my new branch to the remote origin. So I'm going to do git push origin and then my branch, which is called my stuff, like this. And now it's pushing the branch to origin, which is here. So you can see here my stuff had recent pushes. I am just going to see how it looks. It's asking if I want to do a pull request. That means that it wants to see if I'm actually accepting this, and I am going to do that. And I am just going to close it like this. It's not going to merge now. I don't want that. I just want it to be two branches. And you can see here you have the branch main, you have the branch my stuff. And it's got as default, it's just showing main here. If you want to see what's on my stuff, you click it and you go over to it, and you can see here it also has a file, add my file, that. And that is not on main. Now my other user here as default is on the main branch. And if you say git branch, then you just see your branch on as seen here because you have not yet fetched everything. I can try and do a git fetch, and probably it might tell me that yes, there's a new branch here. And now I can actually should be able to git check out the new branch. Yes, as you can see. And now this file is also here. So that's good. Let's see. I did this, and I will try do a git pull here. It's up to date. I'm going to check out main, and I'm going to do a git pull. And the reason for that is that I am behind by 2 commits, but I can fetch those files with fast forward. So that means a regular git pull will update it. And now I am up to date with Origin on both of them. So let's continue to the 6th exercise, where we will again do some branching, and now we will actually merge and do the pull request. I was here, sorry, and I was being offered to do a pull request. I didn't do it back then, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now. I'm now on my stuff, as you can see here. And I should be able to do a pull request somewhere. It is 1 commit ahead of main. Yes, as it should be. So let's say I will make a new pull request, and I will make it for my stuff. And I will create a pull request. Please merge branch my stuff. And then Git will check and say no conflicts with base branch because it's only a different file that's there also. And then if I was someone else who had gotten the pull request, then I would go in and check what's in it. But since I know what it is, I'm going to merge in the pull request and just accept it because there is nothing here to check because it was me who did it already. And I was accepting that. And it says pull request successfully merged and closed. And then the branch that I created has now been merged into main. I can leave it if I want to, but I can also just delete it. And I'm going to do that. So now let's go back to a new Git test. And you will see there is only 1 branch, the main one, because the other one was deleted. And what then happens for my other user? See, first I am going to, as myself, going to go to main, because the thing is, locally, I'm not seeing what happened at the remote branch yet. But I could do a check here and see locally. I think there are 2 branches because I haven't updated. I'm going to do git fetch. And when I do that, I'm being told there's only 1 branch main. And now git branch is, well, it still has the local branch. It doesn't delete it locally. But if I update it, then it should. But right now there is a local branch, but it doesn't matter. It's just a local branch. It just doesn't exist on Origin. So that's fine. And the file, my file that now came to main because I had merged them. So it got the file from my stuff on Origin. And of course, it's the same at my other user who also has both the branches. So now both should be up to date with origin. And we can try and see git branch all, because when you do that, you can see that I have a branch locally main, I have a branch locally my stuff, but on we also apparently still has it on origin, because no, we only have this one here. It's pointing to that. These one are deleted. So, and one thing you can do also is that you can make the main branch protected. That is a way to do it, so, or to some other branch on GitHub. And the reason for doing this might be that you don't want anyone else to go in and make changes to it or delete it or whatever. Let's also go ahead and see how things look with git log. I want to have the long fancy git log with all the branches without having to type it again here. So here you are showing that you had the two that were merged here, so that you got the current commit from those. And if you just do git log, then you just get these log messages, which is also usually what you just want. So that's fine. Let's try continue to the next exercise. And let now each person create a repo. And I will create them on the GitHub page. Sorry, I am creating a new branch in the repo. A little bit tired, sorry. So what I want to do is to say I want to create a new branch. And on GitHub, you just do that by typing here. My branch. I'm creating that. And I'm doing it by clicking here, create branch, my branch from main. And now I will be on that branch, and I have two branches. I can switch between them. And they are both listed here. Okay. So let my other person here do the same thing. You are in new git test, and you can see both branches. I'm going to create a branch, Maria branch. And now there are three branches. I reload here, and I have the three branches. Okay. I'm now from the command line going to see what branches are there. And I can check only the remote ones with -R. As you know, I can do minus all, minus all to get all the branches. But now I am seeing only the remote branches. And I'm not seeing all of them because I have not done git fetch. Let's do git fetch. And now when I've done that, I can see all the branches. Here are all the remote branches. And here are all the branches in total. So I will do git fetch. We'll try to git pull also, because that should also pull them to me. As you can see, they are all here. You can see all of them, or you can see just the remote branch it with -R. And you could also, if you just say git branch, you just see the local branches. Like that. And with git status, you can always see which branch you're on, just like you can with git branch. But it tells you you are on branch main, or you can with git branch look at the star. And if you do git branch minus minus all, it will also show you with a star. If you do git branch minus remote, of course it won't show you because it's only showing the remote branches. Okay. And another way of writing git branch minus minus all is to just say git branch minus a. That is just a short form of minus minus all. And you needed to do a git pull or git fetch to get a list of all branches. I already did that. And it now say try and switch to the branch you created on GitHub with git checkout minus minus track origin and the branch I created. I'm going to do that here, and I'm going to do my branch. So then I switched to my branch and I'm now tracking it because otherwise it was just a remote branch where I didn't do anything with. And here I'm also going to do that, but I am going to take the one that I created for this person here. Okay, so now I'm going to create a file on the command line and put some content into it. So let's do that. And I'm going to do the same here. Okay, I now have created a file on each of the two new branches. I will add it on each here. And I need to type git add, of course, and then git commit. Git commit. And after doing a commit, I will do a git status. And you can see there is nothing to commit. It has a clean working tree. However, your branch is ahead because you have one more commit, and the same thing would be here, just for the other branch. Yeah. And git log will list my log, but it also this is the new commit I made, but also it shows you that I am pointing to the tip of this branch, and this is how it looks on the remote. So that is on this commit instead, because I haven't pushed it yet. I will push these changes. Push, and I will also push it here. It's fine. Now I can merge my branches um, on the command line. So let's try and merge them. Let's see where I got to. I just want to see how it looked here. I got a pull request here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to merge them on the command line instead. So let's check out main. And I will do that here as well. And then I will merge Maria branch here. And that went well. I will merge my branch, or whatever it was called. My branch here. And now I have merged the two branches. And that went well, as you can see. There were no problems here because those were two separate branches with separate files in, so there was no danger whatsoever and everything worked as it should. So I will now try and do a git pull. And you can see here that it knows from GitHub, the remote repo, that you had a change to the other branch. You pulled that, otherwise everything is up to date. And I can do that here as well. And it will pull the stuff from the Maria branch. And you can do git status to see that all is well. And there is this long line again that I never feel like typing in there, where you can see how it looked before the merge. And there's nothing to be concerned about because it first merged one, then it merged the other one, and it went well because they were completely separate.
So let us continue with the next exercise, which is exercise 8, about deleting branches. And now both our users should create 2 more branches in the repo. And I'm going to create 2 on the command line for my own user. So I'm going to do git branch 1, branch 2. And then I also need to check out each of these branches. And I will just show you that indeed on this branch spelled, as you can see here. So I should create a file in it, and I should also push it. So I do touch the file, add it. Not used for comment, but push. And as you can see here, now Git will complain because I try to push without actually having set this, pushed this branch upstream. And I can actually do it with this command here, so I'm going to try and do that. So let's see what happens. And now you can see it's now tracking this branch also. So I'm going to say git branch -r remote. And you can see my newly created branch is here. So let's try to push again. Push with file. And everything is up to date. It's fine. Everything got pushed. So now I'm going to check out the other branch 2. And then I'm going to create a file here. Select file, add it, commit it. This. And then I am going to push the whole thing with git push set up screen, and then I'm going to do branch 2. And as you can see, right now I have set it to let me give the passphrase each time I commit something. So let's try and do a git status. And it tells me that all is well. There's nothing to commit. My working tree is clean. We'll check out main. And now on my other user here, will not see there is anything, as you can see, because they have not fetched. I am going to now create 2 branches as well for other user here. And that I'm going to do on GitHub. As you can see here, I see the 2 branches. And I'm going back here. I'm going to create first 1 new branch. And let's say branch 1. Created. And as you can see, it switches to it immediately. I'm going to go ahead and add a file. File in and then we can put changes. Should write better commit messages, but I'm not doing it right now. I'm still on my new branch. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to main. You can see that file is not there. I'm going to create another branch. Maria branch 2. That. And then I am going to go ahead and add a file. It's 1 file. Weird. So let's see what we have here. We have the 2 new files, 2 new branches with files that I just created, and the 2 new branches with files that was created previously. You can go back to main and see there is nothing here, but I now have 2 branches that are shown here. And it tells me, would you like to compare new pull requests? And I'm not going to do that now. I'm just going to go ahead and go back here. And then I'm going to say git status. And I'm going to say git branch minus null. And as you can see, it's only seeing those branches here. And still only those, simply because neither user had fetched. So I'm going to do git pull. And now we got all the branches. Okay, so we'll fetch. It should also fetch them. There is difference between fetch and pull. It's whether you just do a pull or if you just do a fetch, or if you do a fetch and a merge. But in this case, it doesn't matter because I'm not merging anything. I'm just fetching branches to see which ones exist. And you can see now if I do git branch all, it sees all of them. And in both cases, I'm on main. So now I'm going to go ahead and try and see if I can delete a branch. Push origin minus delete. And then I'm going to go ahead and try and delete branch 2. Let's see what happens. And it does it as I'm asking. Okay, so let's try and do the same thing as my other user. See what happens. Again, it goes well because I'm trying to delete a branch that I own. So what happens now if I go ahead and try and delete a branch owned by someone else? It's me, the owner, I'm allowed to do this. What happens then if the other user tries to do this? As you can see, that also goes well. And the reason for those things both being allowed is because I have not restricted any of the branches, and my user, both of my users, has full rights to the repository. I could have changed it so that my other user doesn't have permissions to do delete on branches, or at least only on my own branches. But that is something you can set in the settings for the repository. So I deleted the branch locally. But what happens now if I'm going to do a git branch all? Of course, I see it this way because I haven't yet done a pull. I'm going to do that. What happens now when I do that? Tells me I'm up to date, and that it looks this way. So here I'm also going to do a git pull. Let's just see what I'm told. And I'm told that I'm up to date. And that is as it should be because I deleted the branch remotely, so it looks the way it should. I mean, there are no extra branches there; they are deleted there. But what happens if I am deleting a local branch instead? So let me go ahead and see git branch -d, and then branch here, for instance, which belongs to me, and it then deletes the branch. And you can see here, this is the commit. And let's do a git pull. What happens then? Let's see. And here you can see it's now gone. However, it's because you can see it is still here remotely. I should get it. Notes. Let's see. Okay, let's see. So I probably need to git check out, and then minus B, and then the branch I'm looking for, which is the branch, and then origin slash Maria branch. Yes. And then I'm actually again getting my branch back. And you can see now the branch exists locally, and I am switched to it. So the branch might have been deleted locally, but it's not deleted remotely. And since it's not deleted remotely, you can always get it back locally as well, as long as it's not gone remotely. So that shows that, and there's actually also several commands that you can use to get hold of this file again. It's possible that git switch will actually get it back to you. Let's see. Branch. No, I haven't deleted it here. I'll just delete it first. Git branch minus D and then branch 1. And it's gone here. And then I'm going to see if I can get it back from the remote with git switch in branch 1. I might have if I explained it correctly. And it did actually, because switch is a newer command which actually sets us up to track a branch also on origin. So now let's see what git branch all does. It's now back, as you can see. Okay. So that was question 8. Let's go to exercise 9. And here we're talking about merge conflicts. And you should all here work on the same branch. Could be the main branch, master branch, or any branch you work on, just as long as it's the same. The merge conflicts generally happen when 2 or more team members edit the same file and the same line, or when one edits a file and another deletes it. So one in your team could create a new repository, or I suggest just you can also just use the same one, unless something went wrong in one of the other exercises. So you have some have the repository in a dirty state or something. But otherwise, you can just use the same repository. I'm going to do that. I'm going to use my new Git test repository. But otherwise, you know how to create a new on the command line. And otherwise, if you created a new one, add your team members as you did before, and then clone the repository. I guess I'm just going to work on, say, I will create a branch that we are going to use for this conflict. Branch conflict. So the branch and conflict. And then I'm going to create some files. Files. Yes, okay. Okay. First file. File. It now has two files. Add them. And I'm going to commit them. Like this. And then I'm going to push them. And now Git will complain, as you know, because it doesn't exist yet. I'm just going to go ahead and do it like this. Now it will be pushed to remote to origin. This. So I now have a new branch called conflict. I'm going to work on the branch conflict. And I am going to edit here. My other user. To check it. Branch conflict. And I have those files here. And also the two new ones that I just created. The same. Good. Now I am going to do for git pull, and did that. And now I'm going to edit the same file in both for both users. So I'm going to edit file 1. And I'm also going to edit it here. Yeah, it's also some stuff. Okay. So now I made the changes to the same line on the same file. And I'm going to go ahead and add it here. To text. Then I'm going to push it. Was not a fantastically good name to pick conflict because, well, now it says conflict because that's the name of the branch, but okay. In any case, I added stuff here, git add, and I'm committing it. The lines to file 1 text. See what it says, its status. It says that I am on this branch called conflict. I'm ahead of origin conflict, so I'm going to push it instead of doing git pull rebase first. What happens? It happens we get a conflict. And we get a conflict because we edited the same line of the same file. So let's try and look at status. We are ahead of origin. We cannot push it because we got this error. Yeah, on branch conflict. We're also on branch conflict here. Let's get long one. So far, almost ready to write the whole line again. Okay, so let's see here. We are on the branch conflict here. and all looks fine on this one here because it doesn't complain, then I'm going to try and see what happens here. Here we are also at the head of the branch conflict, but it is not at the head of the origin conflict. And the reason for that is that we have stuff we want to push to the remote version of this branch conflict, but we couldn't. Okay, so we know what is wrong. We tried to add the file1.txt, and we couldn't. And let's take a look. File1.txt. It looked fine. Yes, this is what we have put here. So let's see what happened. We tried to push it. Let's see what it said. It said it failed to push because we had some conflicting stuff here. And we want to integrate the remote changes, so I'm trying to do a git pull. See what happens. And of course, this still goes badly because we have, as I said, changes to the same line, the same file. So it is suggesting I can try one of these here, where I try to do just a pull rebase or pull fast forward or merged, but that will probably not succeed, but we can try it. Try to do a fast forward and see what happens. And it didn't help. And it couldn't because it cannot know which one of the versions of the most recent lines that we want to keep. File text. So here is also a new line. Let's see what happens if I try. Save. No. Let's see what happens. We can't, because still there is a merge conflict, and trying to do the rebase actually forces it to attempt to do something, and it does pull the work from your coworker. But what it doesn't do is resolve the conflict. But now we should actually see the conflict as it is, because now the work from your coworker got pulled here. So this is where the head is pointing. And then there is either I will add another line, or here is also a new line with some stuff. So this here is what you added, or the user here, and this is what was added by this user up here. And this is helpfully the commit message also. So you can see if you want maybe to go back to a previous commit and simply throw away what happened there, or if you want to take a look at things as it looked there. But what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to remove these lines that Git puts there to mark where the conflict is. So I'm doing that like this. And then I need to figure out, do I want to keep this line here? Or do I want to keep this line here? And what I'm going to do now is that I am actually going to keep both lines as the same. So I'm just putting it together like this. So I'm making a decision that I want it to look like this, and that is what you will have to do because a Git can't know what you want here. So we save it, and then we try doing a push. And now we actually can do a push, but we want to, I'm not currently on a branch, that is true, because I am was moved back to a different commit. And I'm simply going to push this onto the remote branch. And this remote branch is called conflict. So I'm going to write that here. And now we are told that we are up to date. So let us try and do a git pull again. And then we are not possible to do it because we had the unmerged files, which we didn't resolve. But we are now back on the branch, at least. So let's take a look. And this is what we wanted it to look. So we are happy with this. And we have also moved back to the origin of the head now. So we can actually fix it because we have fixed this file. So we're adding it. And then we're going to say we fixed it. This. And we are still in a detached head. And now we should be allowed to move the head back to where it's supposed to be. Let's try and take a look and see how it looks here. And you can see the head is now pointing to the origin conflict. So we are actually now at the tip of the branch conflict, and we are in agreement with the remote branch conflict. And let's try and see what happens up here if I'm now pulling it. See what my coworker did. And here I can do the fast forward because I didn't have any stuff that weren't committed. So let's take a look. Add file one text. And it is actually now looking the same way as it did for my coworker. And that means you have actually fixed this conflict. So let's see. We did get a conflict, yes, and we resolved it. What happens if we actually delete the file and one of us and the other one removes it? What happened then? That should also give us a conflict. So I'm going to do work on file 2 this time. This is the rate file. It needs content. Now, the other user here is looking at the files and is now taking another look at file 2 and deciding that we don't need this file. It can be deleted. So let me do a git remove and then file 2. So it's got. I'm going to say git add, git commit, removing the unneeded file, to text, and then push it. And I'm now told I'm not on a branch because I'm no longer at the head because the other user has done stuff. So I realize this. I'm going to try and rebranch it and see what happens. I realize there was stuff done. And I'm told I'm still not on a branch. I'm going to go ahead and say git checkout and then conflict. And then, of course, my branch and origin conflict have diverged, and they have 1 and 3 different commits each, respectively. So let's see, which one are we on? We're on the one that now has file 2. It still has it. And I am going to insist on removing file 2. So let's do git add, commit. Now, in a moment, it will complain again. Remove file 2. Push. And it gets in. And it should, because we actually have changes that are completely different. I removed a file, my coworker added stuff to this file. So let's try and do a git pull. That goes badly. So let's try this time and do a git merge. And then git says, oh no, conflict. You have added content to this file. You have deleted this file. You cannot do an automated merge. So I'm looking at it. I'm opening file 2 text, which now are back. And I can now see that this is the content my coworker added. They added a file that says this is a great file. It needs more content. But I had deleted it. Same status. And git status it's telling text. And this is back because when I switched to, because I made an error when I switched back to the conflict branch instead of just moving the head on the branch I was on. So let's see how it looks now. I'm going to say that I saw what my coworker added to file 2. I'm going to say that fair, they want to keep it. So that's good. I'm going to do that. I have now made a change that I hope is enough that Git will be happy again. And what you see here is the commit hash of the commit where stuff was added to it. So I am going to say that, okay, we keep the file. Then I am going to push it. And now it actually fixes it. The conflict is gone. And you can do git status. And you can see that there's nothing to commit. The working tree is clean. However, let's see, git status, you're on the branch conflict. It's up to date with origin conflict. So that is actually fine. And it's also telling me you are editing a commit while rebasing branch conflict. And I can then choose to do a git commit amend, or I can choose to do a git rebase continue. And I'm going to do that because I'm happy with it as it is. And what happens? It says we have another conflict. Let's see. And then I'll do that then. And I'm just keeping what I wrote. And then I'm going to say git status. And I'm going to do git rebase continue. And it's still not going to be happening. Now, why is this? Well, let's take a look at this. That. So extend this so you can see what's going on. So we are here, and we are actually at the head of this branch conflict, but the origin conflict is looking different. So what I could do is I could simply check out this hash here. But let's see what happens if I do that. Because that means I'm going back to this one here, and it tells me you are now in detached head instead. And let's take a look at the files. File 2 is there. Let's see what's in file 1. That is, it looks the way we changed it. Let's see what's in file 2. And file 2 is there, and it has the new content. So this actually looks the same way that we had actually agreed that we were happy with. And that's not surprising because we had actually committed this. It's just that there is a mismatch between the commit on the origin branch conflict and on our local branch conflict. And one way we could fix it is that we could actually create a new branch and then merge the branches. So let's try and do that. So I'm going to create a branch, and I can do that with git branch, new branch, and then git checkout new branch. And then I'm going to say that check it out. It looks this way. So I'll git add, git commit, adding the fixed conflicts as a new branch, and that is fine. Git push, and we need to push it upstream with our new branch. So we're doing this. And that's good. And now we decide that we want to merge a new branch into conflict range. So we are going to do git checkpoint conflict. And we are going to do git merge new branch. And we're happy with this. And then we say git push. So what is the git status now? Let's see. No promotes remaining, you're on branch conflict, it's up to date with origin conflict. And now it's just telling us where we are. So this is good, we don't need to do anything further. So let's go ahead and see how it looks for the other team. So let's do a git fetch. The branches. Cool. And now we have file 1 changed. Let's see where it would be there. Let's do a git status. We are on branch conflict. Our branch is up to date with origin conflict. There's nothing to commit. The working tree is clean. File 2 is there, and file 1 has the content that we wanted to have. So in this way, we solved it by creating a new branch and merging the branches. But it was also possible to simply accept to keep the file and then just do a git push there. But there are different ways to solve it. So this is one way of solving this exercise. And I want to say that there is also solutions I made earlier on this the course. Let's see if I can find it. Here is the course repository. If you go into exercises solutions, then under teamwork, there is also model solutions for all the exercises that we have here in teamwork, and you can go and look at those also as well, because some of those I solved differently than what I did here. Okay.